And now it's time for the daily three. I love the number three. I wore number three. I'm about it. So daily three. That's 3 questions, 3 minutes. Take it away, Sam.
You bet. The Wild scored 3 goals last night. They win 3-2 in overtime against the Dallas Stars. Kevin Fiala had 2 goals and an assist in the game. He's got 28 goals on the year now. Wild still playing really good hockey. I want to ask you, though, about Kevin Fiala. We all talk about Kaprizov. We talked yesterday about the Wild's depth. We talked earlier this segment about, sort of their size and physicality. We don't always think about Kevin Fiala anymore with the Wild. We think a lot about Kaprizov. We think about sort of their team mentality. I think Fiala kind of gets overlooked a little bit. Is he an underrated superstar in this town?
So there's a thing. I would say he's consistent. So he's kind of, becoming the Adam Thielen. Like Adam Thielen used to be. Now, Adam Thielen has gotten hurt this last year. But Adam Thielen used to be like one of the most consistent pieces of the Vikings puzzle. Stephon Diggs became a sensationality type of guy. You had Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter, who kind of came into their own right when they started becoming sack masters. And then you had Kirk Cousins come in and steal the show. So Adam Thielen's always kind of been there as a staple piece. And he's like a couch. The couch in your house is the most consistent, comfortable place to be. You fall asleep on it, you take naps on it, you might eat a snack on it, but at the end of the day, it's kind of where it's the glue that holds the living room together. And so you think about the flat screen, the 70-inch. Every time you get a new flat screen or a new show comes out, everybody's staring at the flat screen. So that's where I'm going to put Kirill Kaprizov. He's the flat screen. He's the flashy HD 4K Spider-Man, Batman movie on the screen that everybody's watching. But we're forgetting that we're sitting on the glue that's holding this living room together. And I think that's where Fiala is. You look at, 73 games played, very consistent, always out there on the ice, always can count on. You look at 28 goals scored. So not the 42. Kirill's out there. Like he's filling the net up. But you have to look at the points, 68 points, 40 assists. I think that's the thing. He's just a consistent piece. He's there when he needs to be. He plays his role. He knows that Kirill has to get his, and so he's going to play his role. And it's not often you have a guy. He probably could easily, get to another team that might say, hey, you can come in and be our guy. Let's see what you can do. But is that going to work for him? People forget so many superstars have left their group. Like the OKC team with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. If they had stayed together, I think they'd be world champions right now and probably have 2. The problem was James Harden wanted $80 million. They could not keep him. Kevin Durant did not like Russell Westbrook after a while. I don't know why. He just was not happy with them, so he wanted to get out of there as well. They just could not get along. Russell Westbrook wanted to be the last guy to take the shot. Kevin Durant was like, it's my team. So if you don't want me to do it, I'm going to go elsewhere if you don't appreciate me. He goes to the Wizards, wins the championship. So when you think about Kevin Fiala, I think that's where we're at with him. I think in town, people just don't understand his greatness. Like people did not understand the greatness of James Harden. He was one of the better players on that team. I loved his game, but he wanted to go elsewhere to become a superstar. I think that's what we're getting out of Kevin Fiala. He's the Adam Thielen of the Wild. He's very consistent. He's there. He's the couch. He's the glue that holds the living room together, this team. And so, yeah, I think he's definitely underrated in this town.
Yeah, people forget that the season before Kaprizov came over, people were talking about Fiala as the next big thing. They were saying, oh, this is great. Parise is going to pass the torch to Fiala. He's this next superstar. Then Kaprizov came and totally overshadowed him. But people forget that Fiala at one point was sort of next in line to be that number one guy.
Justin
Another
Jefferson,
hockey
Adam
story.
Thielen.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Sticking with the Wild, Ryan Hartman got in a little brouhaha with Evander Kane on Tuesday night. Yep. They fought. They exchanged blows. Then they were separated. Ryan Hartman flips him the bird, and he gets fined. Not an NFL-sized fine by any means. This is an NHL-sized fine, $4,250. Fans, though, in support of Hartman, because no one really likes Evander Kane, they've taken to Venmo, paid his fine, and then some. So Hartman is donating the difference or the whole amount, I'm not sure, to the Children's Hospital, which is a great cause. So did it all work out in the end here, Ron? Is this just one of those cool fan initiatives that we see from time to time?
Yeah, I do. I did like that. I think donating the money to I mean, the dude makes millions. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he's a millionaire. When you look at Evander Kane, the funniest part of this story is his ex-wife donated. She went on Venmo and paid for it. Like, I hate this dude. Yes, he deserved. I wish I could have given him the bird every day. That's why I left him. So it's fun hearted. You look at, I think, like Josh Allen, same thing happened when, something happened with his thing, and then the Buffalo Bills donated $17 to Josh Allen for something. I think when not Carson Palmer, but like when the Bengals knocked somebody out of the playoffs, the Buffalo fans sent wings to, like, so it's fun. It's fun. It's when fans get involved. Now Pat Beverley, that's a different one. His is $30K. And of course, people made the joke of like, send us your Venmo, and he didn't have a Venmo, so he created one. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get $30K. I don't know, though. Maybe he might. But Bud Light is going to give him a Bev Light can of beer now. They're going to make a beer for him. So he's going to get some publicity out of the beer and the comments he made during the press conference. But I'm for it. I think donating the money to charity is the right thing to do. He even said it, like, I can pay my own fine. It's only $4,200. He spends more than that probably on the team dinner. So, yeah, I like it.
Well, since you brought it up, let's get into the Beverly thing, because he gets fined $30K for his bad language after the play-in win, where there was a lot of curse words during the press conference, a lot of curse words probably on the court. I think he did an Instagram live that was kind of profane. I don't know what the precedent is for this. I guess I haven't followed it closely enough to know if guys regularly get fined for swearing. I know Pat Beverley knows how to spin a phrase or two. What do you think about that decision by the NBA?
I think it's dumb. I think $30K is way too much for a guy just showing emotion. He wasn't. So the thing, you get fined in press conferences for bad mouthing a ref, which I think is like $25,000 or something like that, or $50,000 if you question the officiating to the point where you're like saying they're terrible, this has to change. Because I've seen Doc Rivers, I've seen numerous coaches get fined for their Pop has done it, getting, the questions they have for the refereeing crew for that game, they've gotten fined. Like, you can't denigrate our refs on TV. You can't talk down to them, because those refs are watching Instagram and Twitter as well. So when you say it and it goes, viral, these refs are seeing it, and then they take it personal when they see you later. Like, if somebody constantly talks up bad about me and then thinks I'm going to go out of my way to be nice to them on the court, you got another thing coming. So it's the humanality of this that people forget, that, yeah, you still can, like, it's a ticky-tacky. I don't like that dude. He just talked bad about me. I'm not giving him that. But Pat Beverley was just cursing, having fun, enjoying the moment. I mean, he did have some things to say about the Clippers and the trade, but at the end of the day, the Clippers still respect him. Those players came over and hugged him. They were happy for him. They're still, like, it wasn't like after they lost that game, they were out of the playoffs. They still have a play-in game. So the Clippers had no bad, and technically they should be 7-8 anyway, and it just should be over. This play-in is stupid, but whatever. But that's where you look at the NBA. It's getting too soft. It should be okay to show emotion and say that. That's what the bleep is for. That's what the bleeping button is for. That's what the 7-second delay is for. Like, edit it, bleep it out, and let the guy just have fun after a game. But he had some Bud Light up there as well. He was drinking. So you know what happens after a few beers, because who knows how many beers he had from the court to that press conference. But yeah, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I just imagine Adam Silver, the commissioner, sitting in his office with a little equation chart saying, all right, we've got 2 F words, we've got an A word, a D, and just adding up the number. Like, what, because guys swear all the time, right? So What is the line? It's just a little bit subjective, seems difficult to enforce on a regular basis.
Yeah, if you're not cursing at somebody and you're just cursing to have a conversation and show emotion, like, I can't believe we effing won that game, oh my goodness, blah, 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 blah. I don't see what's wrong with that. But if he's like, hey, you MF-er, you're this, blah, blah, he sucks, I can't believe this, I'm going to beat his. Yeah, then, okay, hey, you're a little too aggressive, bro. Let's fine you. But emotion, maybe just a little letter. Hey, next press conference, if you guys beat the Grizzlies, please just tone it down a little bit.
All right, we got 30 seconds for the bonus question. Sammy Watkins signing with the Packers. He was, I think, a pretty solid free agent who was still floating out there. Would you have liked Watkins on the Vikings roster?
$4 million is a little high for a third receiver, in my opinion. Yes, I see what the Rams did with their 3, but with that 4 to 5, 6 million, one, you still got to draft some top end rookies. You still got to, draft some guys that you're going to really need. And when you draft a bunch of guys, especially a first rounder, you got to have salary cap to afford to sign these guys. That's the funniest thing is when people draft and they're over the cap after the draft, so they can't even sign some of their rookies until they get their veterans to renegotiate. So I think right now the Vikings are in a holding pattern, which tells me maybe they are trying to jump and get a first and maybe even trade up and get 2 firsts. Like there's going to be, or maybe get an additional second, which is still kind of paying too high end guys if you're going to trade back into that 20 spot because you feel like Derek Stingley is still going to be there. I think that's the guy. No, I don't think Sammy Watkins was the answer. I think KJ Osborne is the guy. You got to keep, grooming him, getting him ready to be that 3.
Yeah, I love Watkins, but I also love another 2 years of cheap team control for KJ Osborne. And I like drafting receivers. The young receivers have big impacts all the time, so I would go through the draft.
And JC Treader is still out there too. So there's offensive linemen
That's
that you
my
can
guy.
add.
Yep.
You can add to the competition in the room and really have a true training camp battle for that offensive line, starting 5. So I definitely think let's look at what matters. I don't think receiver is going to matter as much. When you look at Irv Smith is probably going to be used a little bit better. So no, I think Sammy Watkins, I don't think, and honestly, I don't know if he's going to help the Packers as much as they think he is.
Yeah, well, they needed someone because I think it was Alan Lazard, their number 1 receiver until they signed.
No, and I get it. You lose Devontae Adams, you go get Sammy Watkins. Yeah, okay.